All right, so here I am at Piper Street Food Co with Chef Damien. So Damien, what have you made?
Today we've made a beautiful zucchini, bacon and onion crostata, or it's a fancy word for a tart, a free-form tart. It's a great thing, it's an easy thing to make, and today we're just going to work our way through the various elements of the dish so we can produce this beautiful thing.
Looks fantastic. So what's step one?
Okay, we're going to start by making the pastry first. So we've got some over here, I'll bring my ingredients across. We've got some flour. So the flour we're using here today is from the Loudon Flour Mill. It's in Bridgewater near Bendigo, so it's a local product which is important to us. We've got some salt here. The salt's from Western Victoria. It's Mount Zero organic salt from the Pink Lake up there. And we're using some Victorian butter here as well. We're going to start by using our food processing here. In with our flour, we've got 350 grams of flour going in here.
So could you do it by hand, or you think the process?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Look, all of these sort of things you can do by hand. One of the things that I find when we're cooking is that people tell me that they're time poor, they don't have the time necessarily to get involved. So this is a way of making the pastry. It's a little cleaner, a little easier, and a little more approachable for people too.
Yep, great.
In with our butter. Our butter's cold, it's been in the fridge. That's really important because if butter is soft and warm or at room temperature, it tends to melt fairly quickly as we process it through the machine.
Okay.
On with the lid. And the idea here is we want to take the butter till it's almost like a fine crumb. You still want to see little pieces of butter. You don't want it to be completely absorbed, but you don't want it to be too chunky.
Okay.
To this I'm going to add 60 ml of ice cold water, and this has been in the fridge. Again, it's about keeping that butter cold and firm. So in with the water. Doing here is that we're just pulsing the machine just enough. I'm going to take my blade out now, just enough that the pastry will start to slowly come together. What's important when we're working with pastry is that we don't overwork it because the flour tends to get tough and firm. Just come out here like so, and I'll pop this back into my bowl here so I can work in here.
So do you sell these in your shop here or not?
No, we don't, but we teach, not necessarily, but we teach this in our cooking classes.
Oh yeah,
when we do our various classes. And it's something for me is a really important part of cooking.
Yep.
I've been cooking for about 25 years now, and I started my apprenticeship with my mother.
Oh wow.
She's a chef. My father was also a chef.
Yeah.
And my grandmother did her pastry apprenticeship in the 1940s at Andy's Bakery in Glenelg in South Australia. So for me, growing up and living in a commercial kitchen has been a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm really grateful for.
Yeah. So when's your next cooking class?
We're coming up on the 24th of November, and we've got a Christmas making class. We're going to make hand-raised pies using a lard pastry.
Oh, yum.
Which is a great centrepiece for Christmas Day.
Sounds good.
So you can see this pastry here. It's only just come together. It's still a little crumbly. I'm just using my hands just ever so gently to work it together. Again, making sure that we're not overworking it because that butter will start to melt. This pastry here is enough to make 2 tarts like we saw before. So I'm just going to cut my pastry in half. And now I'm going to form that into a circle and then flatten it out. So this is an important part. This is a great little handy hint because the pastry needs to rest. All pastry when it's been worked, flour that's been worked is really tight. It's got a lot of tension. We need to allow that tension to come out of the dough, and that happens over time.
Yep.
What happens is that because this dough will rest in a refrigerator, is the butter will start to firm, and then we need to roll it out afterwards. If we flatten it into a disc like so to start with, and then half the roll is already done for us.
Yep.
There's a little bit of flour in there to stop it from sticking. Like so. Okay, my piece.
Make a great after-school snack or something even for the lunchbox.
Well, this is the idea for me. This for me is a great lunchbox sort of thing because you can make a large one like so, cut it into quarters. You can see here.
Yeah.
You can cut this into quarters. We've also made individual ones of these as well.
Okay.
So that dough now is going to go into the fridge and it's going to rest for an hour before we get around to using it again.
Yep.
Okay, so the pastry's gone into the fridge and it's going to rest now, like I said, for up to an hour. And now we're just going to start to prepare the filling for the tart. Now the great thing about this tart is that the filling is interchangeable. You can add your sort of your favourite ingredients, and for me, I like to think of things like, what would you put on a fancy pizza? You could put some salami, some olives, some basil and bocconcini would go beautifully well in here. Some roast pumpkin and goat's cheese would go fantastic. And like today, we're going to use some bacon, we're going to use some zucchini because it's spring. We've got some lovely chives, some onions, and a little bit of Swiss cheese to go in there as well. So we'll just start by preparing the zucchini, and all we're doing here is we're taking a young firm zucchini, we've wiped it down to make sure it's not dirty, and we're just going to cut it into thin rounds.
What are your thoughts about kids in the kitchen cooking using knives?
Yeah, look, it's really, really important. It's absolutely essential that kids understand those fundamental skills of using knives in the kitchen. And when we're teaching our children's classes here, we teach two things on how to hold a product. There's the bridge. When you're holding a product and you want to cut that is unstable, like so, that is round, we hold it either side and create a bridge. And then from there we can come inside the bridge and we can slice down. And what that means is that we're not cutting towards our fingers at all. The second thing of what I was doing before is that we're using what we call the bear claw. And we hold our hand like so with our thumb behind and our fingers bent back towards the thumb. And that way we can anchor the product and we can cut up and down along our finger here. We're using that as a guide, but we're cutting away from our fingers and not towards them. And that's a really important thing. And I think for us, cooking is a way of engaging with our kids. That's a really important thing, I think, because it used to be that kids used to spend time in the kitchen with their parents or grandparents or whatever it may be, and they learn those life skills.
Yes.
Whereas today we're a little busy and we don't necessarily have the time to do that sort of thing, or the kids are looking for other sort of entertainment.
Yeah.
But that opportunity to come together around the table and around the kitchen is really important.
I agree.
I've warmed my pan here like so, and I'm just going to take a little bit of oil here and bring it in focus a bit. A little bit of oil in here. We're just using a light olive oil in here.
Yep.
And I'm going to put some brown onions, which have been finely sliced.
Now, can I ask, did you just make a lot of your lovely produce for the Melbourne Cup Carnival? Is that right?
We a lot of product down there. We supply Flemington Racecourse, we supply Caulfield Racecourse, and clearly it's that time of year.
Wow, so what sort of things have you sent down?
So we did a fantastic little mushroom pate, which is a little vegetarian version.
Yep.
We did a half a jar of that and then a salad and built inside that. And it was served with a little hors d'oeuvre, loads of sardines, loads of pate. Again, it's spring carnival, it's that time of year.
Yep.
In with my onions, and you can see they're starting to take on a little colour there now. With the finish with my zucchini. Now cooking's not difficult, and like we said before, getting kids in the kitchen is really important.
Yeah,
and cooking is just a series of simple steps done well. And so in our classes here at the Piper Street Food Company, we try and teach, those steps and how you can maximise the flavour out of each stage, so then you end up with a beautiful finished result. So in with my onions like so, I'm just taking, like I said, taking a little colour, not too much colour too quickly, because we want to convert those simple sugars into the nice caramelisation, so then we get that sweet base going on at the end.
Yep.
We've got some bacon here, and so we use a bacon from over in Ballarat, Salt Kitchen. It's a good friend of mine, Michael Nunn, and he's a charcutier over there, and he's making some beautiful products. And so we use a lovely bacon from there, and that's going in the pan as well with my onions. And again, we're just going to get those flavours going here as well.
So you've mentioned a lot of local producers. Why do you think it's important to support the local producers and not just go for the cheaper options, perhaps at a supermarket or a mass-produced place?
Sure. So first of all, there's so many answers to that question. The first thing I would say about local produce is you know where it's coming from, and that's a really, really important thing. We know where the products come from. We know the history, the life that the animals have particularly had, or the quality of the product. Secondly, if it's local, it's going to be fresh, seasonal produce.
Yeah.
Now, we're lucky in the world that we can get whatever we want, whenever we want, as far as produce is concerned. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best product for that particular time.
Yeah.
And we've all had that scenario, when you get to August and you're hanging out for a strawberry, because you haven't had one for so long, and you see a pun of a strawberry and you crack and you buy it, and it's never what you want it to be. So if we hang out the seasons and enjoy and embrace those seasons, then that's really important.
Yeah.
We'll get a better product. And the third thing I will say also is that we're part of the community.
Yeah.
And supporting the local community is a really, really important thing.
Yeah.
We're all working hard, and we're all trying to make our way. and by giving each other that support along the way, then we'll all achieve our goals, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
So a bit of colour there. The bacon is now starting to release the oils and it's coming along nicely. I'm just going to add my zucchini to this now. It would be tempting, to use tomatoes and that sort of stuff now, but we've only just hit spring, and it's not tomato season, and there's something beautiful about picking a tomato off the vine and that warmth of the sunshine in it, that is worth waiting for, I think.
Yeah, we've got people watching from WA and Northern Territory, Queensland, even some from New Zealand and the UK. So obviously everyone's seasons are a little bit different. Down in Victoria here, I've mentioned before, we've had a long, cold, wet winter.
Indeed.
So the spring has only really just arrived in the last week, I think.
That's right. And in fact, last Sunday I was up at my father-in-law's house, 81 years old, and he and I went out and harvested a whole bucket of broad beans out there.
Oh,
we became dinner for the night. It was a lovely pasta dish for the kids to do that.
Yep.
And it's nice, the conversation going around the table with your kids potting of broad beans and that sort of stuff. Sneaking one in here and there and that sort of thing. Again, we get busy with life, but there's something innately enjoyable about slowing down and doing this sort of thing.
Yep, definitely.
So in here with the zucchini, I'm just going to add a small amount of garlic. I'm going to season this with a little bit of salt, just enough to cook that garlic out.
Always fresh garlic for you?
Always fresh garlic for me, yeah, it is. The garlic season of Australia is a fairly short season, and you pay a lot for Australian garlic, upwards to $30, $35 a kilo, and that's okay, because what you'll find is with Australian garlic being in season, that is much more intense than any imported garlic you get. And for some of the garlics that come from Mexico or Argentina or whatever it may be, will be on the shelf at $12, $14, $15 a kilo. So it's comparable because we'll use twice as much. So now really up to that $30. And these are the sort of things we just need to ask ourselves that question as we're going along. Because it's sometimes the dollar value is the first decision we make, and we don't necessarily go a step below that to find out what it really is. Yeah,
well, I spoke yesterday with Matt at Grist, and obviously they do some great bread there, and you guys also do amazing bread here at Piper Street Food Co. And we're just talking about the different ingredients in your breads compared to supermarket breads, and yes, they are more expensive, but they are far better quality ingredients and taste so much better and fill you up rather than supermarket white bread that just feels like you haven't even had anything after 3 or 4 slices.
And if you ever do the experiment of grabbing a slice of white sliced bread and trying to compact it down, there's not much left at the end.
No, I've done that before.
And I'll tell you a story. My father-in-law in South Australia used to work for a laundry company. And one of the companies that he supplied with uniforms was a major bakery in a big factory in there. And so he went on a tour one time. And the person giving him the tour asked him a simple question, what do we sell here? And he goes, well, you sell bread. And he says, no, we don't. We sell water. As much water as we can get into that loaf because the water's cheaper than flour. And look, they're a business, they're making money, I understand that. And but it's a choice it's up to the consumer.
Yes,
it doesn't have to be their choice. So I've just finished off with a little bit of chive in there as well.
Smells
and now
amazing.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off the heat like so, and I'm going to allow that to cool completely. While it's cooling down, I'm going to grab my pastry out and then we'll go to the next stage of rolling the pastry.
Fantastic.
Great. So we've rolled out we've made our pastry here, and this pastry that has been resting for a good, also half an hour at this point, an hour preferable, in the fridge so that butter just firms up a little bit just to make it a little more easier to work with. We've got our filling here, which has got our zucchinis in here with our bacon, our onion and our chives, a little bit of garlic and some salt and pepper that's gone into there as well. And that's been cooked out enough that the zucchini is softened but it's still retaining its colour and its vibrancy. And that's important, we don't want to cook all the nutrients out of it. Just notice with the dough here that I've wrapped it up in baking paper here because this stuff you can use time and time again, so it doesn't go to waste. It's easy to grab the cling film, but it's not necessary as far as this is concerned. So the great thing about this recipe here is that you don't have to be so precise when you're rolling it out, and that suits somebody like me who's not necessarily that finessed when it comes to pastry work. A little bit of flour in here, and the important thing here is just enough flour, not too much, because the more flour you add, the more you roll it in, the more you alter the recipe. We roll our dough from the inside out. This is an important thing also because we want to take the tension out of the dough as much as possible. So we start in the middle, we roll forward, roll it back. And then we'll just take our pastry, gather a little bit of that flour.
This is something kids love to do as well. And they may not follow your principles exactly right, because I know my kids, when they roll, they just go for it and they start arguing over who gets to roll the pizza dough or whatever it is, but it doesn't matter. I just let them get on with it. And
well, you don't want to put too many rules to it when it comes to cooking, because you want them to be enjoyable.
Exactly.
It should be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Cooking, I find, when I talk to people, becomes a source of frustration when people, they don't have the time to achieve what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
And so that feeling when you get home sort of 5 o'clock and you're thinking, I might put the lamb shanks on, and then you get to 9 o'clock and the lamb shanks aren't cooking and that sort of stuff. And we always tell people, put the lamb shanks on at 5 o'clock, absolutely, and then make an omelette.
Yeah.
Enjoy your omelette and then have the lamb shanks tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've rolled your pastry out, and you can see it here. Clearly, you haven't followed a precise pattern, and that's okay. What we're looking for though is just some consistency in the thickness of the pastry. I take my tray here, and I'm going to pop this pastry in the middle of the tray. And as you can see, it's slightly bigger than the tray, but that's okay. We're going to start to fold it in. This is some of the filling that I prepared earlier, so that I've allowed it to cool, because if you add the hot filling straight to the pastry, it can tend to melt the butter a little bit. So we're just going to go in here like so, into the middle, and we're just going to push this out.
So what's your favourite filling then when you make these?
Whatever's good in the fruit shop, and I'm not trying to be silly about that, but sometimes I just, I go to the shop for the inspiration for what may be dinner. So at 5 o'clock, I really don't have an idea what we're eating at that point. I've got the luxury of 25 years of training behind me, which it helps to prompt me, and I'm not suggesting that everybody should work like that, because meal planning is a really important part of it, and it helps people to to be able to cook beautiful things and not just shortcut. Because that's when things happen. When people are time poor or they're running late, then it's easy to grab a convenience product or a pre-packaged product or whatever it may be.
Yeah, so it's good to know that even chefs don't know what they're having for dinner at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're not alone, because I know that's often my problem as well, with a lot of after-school activities pretty much every night of the week with 3 kids. You're the same, you've got lots of kids too, and you're just constantly going from work to school pickup, or to a ballet or soccer, whatever it might be. So it's good to know that.
But I think just a couple of simple recipes in your repertoire. If you make a good risotto, then that's there's half an hour there. If you've got a good risotto, but you just need to make sure you've got the ingredients for it as well, quality stock and those sorts of things. So I get it. It's absolutely it can be a bit of a trick. I've just added some Swiss cheese to this. It could be cheddar cheese, it could be feta, it could be ricotta, if your favourite cheese. We're just going to pick up the pastry like so, and I'm just going to fold it over into a crease, like so. I'm going to fold it over into a crease, like so.
That's good.
And I'm rotating the tray as I go around. So picking it up, folding it into a crease.
Looks very pretty. So at Piper Street Food Co, they make amazing pork pies, proper English pork pies.
They're beautiful things. It's way back from my mother's generation. She's from Northern England, and so that was the idea of doing that. And they're a beautiful thing. And sometimes actually my kids get them in their lunchbox. So it's a bit like the pressed tongue sandwich of the '60s. With the kids used to get teased a bit for that, but they don't care. They love them.
Good.
This is terrific.
Okay,
so I've creased the pastry like so, and you can see how easy this is to come together. The other thing I will say also is it doesn't have to be savoury, it could be sweet. If you want to add apples and rhubarb in season or whatever it may be, that would work wonderfully well. And then sprinkle it with some little bit of caster sugar before it goes into the oven.
I think my kids were like banana and chocolate. I'm not sure how that would go in the oven.
Well, hey, give it a go. You don't know, it might be okay. It might be okay. This is going to go into a moderately hot oven. So we're going to go about 180, 200, depending on your oven. And we're going to cook it for about 20 to 25 minutes until it takes on a little colour and the pastry starts to firm up. And so if I just pop that in the oven like so, and then what you can do is you can see the one that we pulled out that we prepared earlier.
Looks
and so
fantastic.
absolutely beautiful here.
It's
a beautiful crisp, sort of a buttery pastry with that lovely filling inside. And like you said, we can just take a knife, we can cut that into quarters. I'll just grab a knife here.
That sounds good. So I'm going to be tasting that when I stop the camera recording.
Absolutely.
And
you're not going to eat on camera?
No, I won't. I won't. But thank you for joining us, and thanks so much, Damien. And we'll put the recipe up on the website and the Facebook page, and also some info about Piper Street Food Co. And if you're in the area of Kyneton, then come and check it out and yeah, buy some amazing produce from here. So thanks a lot, Damien.
Good on you. Thanks, Kate.